down there. This time of year should be fun, yeah.
Did you have family there?
Yeah, friends.
To handle this situation, begin emergency scene management.
Shoot it?
Perform a scene survey. Take charge. As long as the casualty can breathe, cough forcefully or speak, encourage her to cough.
Can you speak? Are you choking? Sheila?
When coughing stops, identify the degree of obstruction. Stand behind the casualty, brace yourself, and give abdominal thrusts. Thrust inward and upward forcefully. Continue until the airway is cleared or the casualty becomes unconscious. If she becomes unconscious, ease her down face up on a firm, flat surface. Send someone to get medical help.
Rob, call 911. Tell them Sheila's unconscious and choking. Get back to me.
Right away, Lip.
Look in the mouth for any foreign matter. If you see something, remove it with a hooked finger. Open the airway using the head tilt with chin lift. Check breathing for no more than 10 seconds.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007.
If the casualty is not breathing, try to ventilate. If the chest does not rise, reposition her head and try to ventilate again.
Nothing.
If the chest still does not rise, landmark and give 15 chest compressions.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and
The
6,
ambulance is on its
7,
way, Lib.
8 and 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13, 14 and 15.
After each set of 15 compressions, look in the mouth. Try to ventilate. If the chest does not rise, reposition the head and try to ventilate again. If the chest still does not rise, give 15 more compressions.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 and 14 and 15.
Look for the obstruction. If you are successful in clearing the airway and the casualty begins to breathe, continue with the primary survey. Assess the rate and quality of breathing. Be prepared to assist breathing if necessary. Check for shock. Give ongoing casualty care until handover to medical help. Place the casualty in the recovery position. Cover the casualty to preserve body heat. Reassure her and monitor her condition.
Okay.
Reassess the airway, breathing, and circulation. Record the casualty's condition, any changes that may occur, and the first aid given. When medical help arrives, present an oral report to the attendants on what happened, the casualty's condition, and the first aid you have given. In summary, take charge and do a scene survey. Identify the degree of obstruction. If there is no air exchange, stand behind the casualty. Brace yourself. Give abdominal thrusts, thrusting inward and upward forcefully until the airway is cleared or the casualty becomes unconscious. Ease the casualty down gently onto a firm, flat surface. Send someone for medical help. Look in the mouth for any foreign matter. If you see something, remove it with a hooked finger. Open the airway. Check breathing for no more than 10 seconds. Try to ventilate. If the chest does not rise, reposition the head and try to ventilate again. If the chest still does not rise, landmark for chest compressions. Give 15 compressions. Look in the mouth. Remove any obstructions. If you are successful in clearing the airway and the casualty starts breathing, continue with the primary survey by assessing the rate and quality of breathing. Check for shock. Place the casualty in the recovery position. Cover her. Reassess the ABC's airway, breathing, and circulation. Record the casualty's condition and any changes that may occur. When medical help arrives, report on what happened, the casualty's condition, and the first aid you have given. If you encounter an unconscious casualty who has choked and you did not witness the event, follow the steps of emergency scene management.
Call for an ambulance. Kathy's unconscious, right? Get back to me.
After sending for medical help, open the airway and assess breathing for no more than 10 seconds.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008.
If the casualty is not breathing, attempt to give one slow ventilation. If air will not go in, it may be that there is an obstruction or your technique is not correct. Reposition the head. Check your seals at the nose and mouth and try to give another ventilation. If air will still not go in, assume there is an obstruction and begin the same procedures for the choking casualty who goes unconscious. If you are alone and start to choke, perform abdominal thrusts on yourself. If this does not dislodge the obstruction, use the back of a chair or the edge of a solid object to deliver a stronger thrust. In summary, if casualty is already unconscious and you did not witness the choking, follow the steps of emergency scene management. After sending for medical help, open the airway and assess breathing for no more than 10 seconds. Attempt to give one ventilation. If air will not go in, reposition the head and try again to ventilate. If air still will not go in, assume there is an obstruction and proceed with first aid for choking. If you are alone and choking, use the same technique of abdominal thrusts on yourself. If this does not dislodge the obstruction, use the edge of a solid object for stronger thrust.